Please load streams. Maybe I'll check the YouTube channel itself. Let's see if it's popped up on there. Not yet. Still taking a little while. Does this sometimes. Then certainly looks like it. We'll get the telemetry up, lap data, track map, fantastic. Let's have a look. Is that it? Yes, it is. So streams up, chat's up, we're all good to go. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round 9 of the PS4 Tier 2 Pacific Series here on Race Spec Esports, and boy are we in for a gem of a race tonight. We are at one of the most legendary racetracks on the Formula 1 calendar, the Silverstone Grand Prix circuit, a 5.89 kilometer, 18 turn racetrack that has been here since the very beginning of Formula 1, formerly an RAF airfield used during World War II. It's transformed into what is undoubtedly Britain's premier racetrack. Every corner is named around here, which is fantastic. I don't have to use corner numbers. Got corners like Abbey, Village, The Loop, Aintree, Brooklands, Luffield, Woodcote, Cops Corner, Maggots, Beckett's, Chapels, Stowe, Vale, Club. Oh, it's fantastic. I don't have to use bloody numbers, unlike all the Tilkedromes that are out there in this Formula 1 calendar. And the magical thing is with Silverstone, that this track is over 70 years old. Over 70 years old. So it's had so many different versions of this racetrack. Yet in almost any era of Formula 1, this racetrack has always produced fantastic racing. It is the home of Formula 1, as this was the birthplace of this pinnacle of motorsport, all the way back in 1950 when it hosted the first ever Formula 1 Grand Prix. And since then, in almost every decade, almost every year that this sport has existed, it has always produced absolutely fantastic racing. And another thing to note with this racetrack is that this racetrack is used as more or less as a test bed for all the drivers in Race Spec Esports. During the registration phase at the beginning of the season, drivers had to do time trial times around this circuit, and they had to register their times in order to get into the league. So these drivers will know this track incredibly well. And we're going to let our current championship leader, GeForce Dre, take us on a tour of this legendary racetrack into Abbey, which is turn 1, into turn 2, now absolutely flat out. Now coming into Village, turn 3, then into the Loop, which is turn 4, a very important corner. Say hi to Conrad Strait, who's sitting out there just off the racing line. Through turn 5, which is Aintree, down the Wellington Straight. Hard on the accelerator towards 320 kilometers an hour into Brooklands. A very important corner, as you basically have to use it as a setup for turn 7, which is Luffield. Now coming through Woodcote onto the Old Pit Straight. The oldie pit straight, pre-2011, if I remember correctly. Through Cops Corner. No hint of a lift in these conditions. It is overcast here in the UK, which is not a surprise at all. Through Chapel. Just prior to that was the famous Maggots and Beckett section. Been here since the original iteration of this racetrack. Heading up towards Stowe, 6th gear. Misses the apex just ever so slightly, I feel. Into Vale, 100 metre board, hard on the brakes, 3rd gear. Short shifts, I imagine. No, keeps it in 3rd. Then he does a short shift, uses all of 4th through Club Corner and across the line to set a 1 minute 25 flat. We're already in the 25 flats. That is actually insane. Only one driver got into the 24s in Tier 3, so to see a 25 flat with 13 and a half minutes to go really does set the tone of what we're about to see here tonight at this magnificent racing facility. And I imagine that the competition here is going to be incredibly close, as it proved in Tier 3. From first all the way down to, I think, 13th or 14th, it was 1 second separating the field at qualifying. It was actually ridiculous. And throughout the race, we were quite bunched up as well, so I kind of have those same expectations for Tier 2. As a lot of people know watching, this is probably the best tier in terms of the raw competition between these guys. As it was proved last week in Austria. Also, kudos to Bodhod, who streamed that for me while I was away. It was a fantastic race, a fantastic qualifying session as well. To see the time so close was absolutely insane. It really is testament to these drivers and their raw skill and how close they are to each other as well. All pushing each other to the limit. And because of the close competition, particularly around a racetrack like this, it's going to be about management. It's going to be about who makes the least amount of mistakes, because the competition is going to be so close. So it's those drivers who can nail every braking point, who can nail every apex, who will not falter any lap during the race. Those guys you will see more so towards the top of the table. Pace, I mean, yeah, it helps that you have pace on your side, but because it's so close between yourself and the rest of the field, pace isn't the outright factor in this race, I don't think. It's going to be consistency. I feel like it's going to be the major key for this race. There's a couple of drivers on the fly. Grim Reaper and the Williams coming through Stowe, 5th gear, mid-corner apex speed of 210 kilometers an hour. Absolutely ridiculous speeds through there. Coming through Vale into Club Corner and across the line, and he does a 25 flat as well, just 15 thousandths of a second behind the current pole sitter. That's the margins we're dealing with here, people. That's how close it's going to be. Now, what's that translate into the race? It's actually going to be insane as Misty Griffin goes purple in Sector 1, coming into Luffield, which I feel like is an incredibly important corner on this racetrack. I'm not sure about the people watching whether or not you'll agree with me, but that corner dictates a run through turn 8, onto the pit straight, through Copse Corner and Maggots and Beckett's. Because all of that section from Woodcote at turn 7, all the way up to here at Chapel, do you touch the brakes? So the exit of turn 7 is very, very important. It is so incredibly important because it leads to an incredibly fast and long section of road that is completely flat out until Chapel, which is turn 12 off the top of my head. I'll have to get the track map in front of me as Mr. Griffin has a moment and a half through there. Dear me, he is pushing hard. He does a 26.7. He's got a lot more time he can find. Just needs to minimise those mistakes. Conrad straight and Kickbutt Kiwi are on flyers. Conrad's invalidated, so he'll stay with Kiwi. I have to say, looking at the championship, it's currently looking like a 2-horse race at the top of the table at least. GeForce Grey, as I mentioned earlier, is your current championship leader. He's on 131 points. He's followed behind by OP Magic on 114. So 17 points between the top two. It is quite close, but it's a healthy margin to have for GeForce Grey. But down to third is Cuda in the Red Bull on 76. It's quite a big margin between P2 and P3. But then you look at the rest of the field. Banana in P4 is on 69 points. Kickbutt Kiwi, the man right here, he's on 66. Harass 18, defending champion, he's on 65. Curving Texas, he's on 50. Rampsey is on 50. It is very, very close in the midfield. One good race and you'll skyrocket up the table. One bad race, you'll fall like a stone in water. So you do have to be careful as Kiwi goes forward fastest. Harass coming onto the Leoldi pit straight, heading towards Copse Corner. Absolutely. Oh no, a hint of a lift. Just a hint, maybe down to 90% power. Heading through Maggots and Beckett's into Chapel. See here, 4th gear. That is an interesting gear to use, Harass. I tend to only go as low as 6th gear I feel like fifth gear is a bit of a useless gear through there. I don't really see a use for it in this game, at least. Through Stowe, seventh gear on exit, gets the power down really nicely into Vale. Fourth gear, fifth gear, gets on the power really early as G4 Stray does a 24.6 and a Ras does a 24.9, so two drivers in the 24s now. That is ridiculous with 8 minutes left. Lucky Rex on a fly, he's up by 0.4 of a second. He's looking at a 24 as well. Actually, no, sorry. He finished his lap, my bad. He improved by 0.4 of a second. So he did a 25.5, he now does a 25.1. See who else is on the flyer. Got a whole heap of drivers on in-laps, it seems. Banana is on a flyer. Heading out of Woodcote. Oh, sorry, Luffield into Woodcote. Heading up to Cops Corner. You'll be absolutely flat through here, no hint of a lift at all. Now into Maggots and Beckett's. Still flat, holding the accelerator down for as long as he dares. 7th gear, down to 6th gear. A very nice line through there. Opens DRS. He is purple, in fact. And he's going to get a cheeky little toe from G4 Stray. That will boost him just a little bit. Heading towards Stowe, 6th gear. Misses the apex ever so slightly, but it doesn't compromise his run too much. Heading into Vale, 3rd gear. Down to 2nd, he got a lot of rotation then, a lot more than what he probably bargained for. And across the line he does a 25.3, puts him P6. Looking at the rest of the field, F1 Hawk, he's coming through Aintree, down the Wellington Straight. Now into Brooklands, aiming for the 50 board, turns in. I have to say, I don't like that line that F1 Hawk just took then. A lot of drivers take that line through there. It really does compromise the run through turn 7. I feel like opening that corner up gives you such a massive benefit when you go through turn 8. Oh, that was a bit hairy through Cops Corner. You got an invalidation as well. This man will be interesting to watch. We're right on board actually with OP Magic. I'll talk about turn 7 later. Coming up through turn 3, the village into the loop. 2nd gear, he'll short shift. No, use all of 2nd, interesting. Through Aintree. Down the Wellington Straight. He'll be aiming for that 50 board, there it is. Turns in, 4th gear. And again, taking quite a shallow line through Luffield. Through turn 8 into turn 9. There's the 50 board, he turns in. Oh, that was hair raising to say the least. He didn't quite take the corner right, I feel. Probably turned in a little too early. Compromised his line through the corner, using as much track as he can. He was apparently purple in sector 2. He's done a 1 minute 1.6 through the 2nd sector. Through Stowe, heading into Vale, aiming for the 100 board on the brakes, 3rd gear, 2nd. He'll short shift to 3rd, short shift to 4th, he'll put the power down, 5th gear, 6th gear, up towards the line, it's a 24.8, puts him P2 for now. With 4 minutes left in the session, he's able to get at least one more lap in. A very nice time. So the two championship leaders are at the top of the table. Who would have thought? Emmons on the in-lap, Roscoe Arms on the in-lap. Misty Griffin on a flyer. He's up by a 10th in the 1st sector. Coming through turn 7 onto the old pit straight. Turn 8. Up towards Cops Corner. Very important you get your line right through here. That's a very nice line from Griffin. Didn't lose too much speed, didn't scrub off too much speed. Through the high speed S's. 5th gear, interesting. And he's up by 0.4 of a second. He's looking good. Remember, he made a bit of a meal of this final sector coming through the chicane and club corner, so he's about to get a lot of time through here, so long as he nails it, of course. Third gear, nice and gentle. Nice and gentle again. That is much, much better. 24, 25, 25, 6. He improves by 1.1 seconds and he puts himself in P11. Concentrate on an outlap. G-Force Dre on his final flyer, I think. I don't think he'll have enough time to do another. Okay, through Cop's Corner. 304 kilometers an hour. That's as slow as it gets through Cops. That is absolutely ridiculous. Gear down to 6th gear. It's on the power nicely. DRS open. He's purple again. He's up by just under 0.2 of a second. Into Stowe. 6th gear. Oh, a bit of a lift, a hint of a lift through there. I guess he thought he was going to invalidate if he kept it full throttle. So he's lost a little bit of time. This isn't going to be a purple third sector, surely. It isn't. He's lost 0.5 of a second, but he does do a 24.5. A mega lap time. Harass is up by 2.5 of a second. He looks like toppling OP Magic. It's looking like a Mercedes 1-2. When's OP going to come out of the pits? And look at that, an excellent lap time from Harass, a 24.6. Only 0.1 of a second behind his teammate. Well done. He'll be happy with that one, I am certain. It's going to be quite a challenge for the drivers behind to try and get onto the front row. But this man certainly has the talent to do it. We'll keep an eye on him. Everyone's on outlaps, all just pouring out of the pits. I have to say, it's a bit touch and go with the amount of time left. The outlap around here isn't exactly short, so you do have to be careful. Blocky on a flyer. Coming through Aintree. If he improves by merely 0.1 of a second, he gains a place. That's how close it is at the moment. Let's see, he's up by 0.5 in Sector 1. Into Luffield. 2nd gear, 3rd gear, 4th gear, on the power. Coming up to Cop's Corner. You can see here he's not carrying quite as near as much straight line speed as G-Force Dre, suggesting maybe he's running with slightly higher wings. Coming through the S's, he's missed the apex of Chapel though, that will cost him. Onto the hanger straight, and yeah, he's down by 2.5 of a second. I don't think he'll be beating his time. So these guys, they will make it, thank goodness. They will make it, they've got plenty of time left. Oh, what's this? Who's spun out? Oh, it's the Rock, he's backing up. And he has to back up as well. But it seems like it's all down to this man. What can OP Magic do? Currently 2nd in the Drivers' Championship. Oh, and he's made a meal of turn 4. Oh dear. How much time has he lost? An error at the loop. He's down by 0.4. He will not be getting pole. Kitbutt Kiwi, he jumps up to P4. A nice time from here. Banana shoots up the leaderboard to P3 with a 24.794. So the next driver on a flying lap, I believe, is Grim Reaper, if I'm not mistaken. The Rock, he's on a flyer as well. We'll keep an eye on him. But it's all down to these two, if they can snag pole position, because OP definitely can't. Not with the amount of time he lost in Sector 1. He's up by 0.1 of a second. What about the Rock? He's only up by 0.5, and he's invalidated as well. So it's all down to Reaper. What can he do? Through Stowe. Into Vale. Then Club Corner to finish the lap. The Williams comes around the final corner. What's the time going to be? It's a 25 flat. He does improve, but only by 0.5 of a second. And that's qualifying done and dusted here at Silverstone, and it's a Mercedes 1-2 with G-Force J setting the fastest time, a 1 minute 24.502, with Harass in P2 with a 24.606, separated by 1/10 of a second, then half a tenth to Conrad Strait in P3. That is incredible. But that will end qualifying. We'll move on to the race itself. You use a Google setup, banana, good on you. Oh boy. 1 second separates first all the way down to 11th. That is ridiculous. So it's G-Force Stray on pole, Harass P2, Conrad Strait P3, Banana Cake Pie P4, OP Magic, I imagine a disappointed P5, Keep by Kiwi P6, The Rock P7, Grim Reaper P8, Blocky P9, Edmund in P10, Curving Texas 11th, Misty Griffin 12th, Roscoe Arm in 13, F1 Hawk did not set a lap time. He'd be starting at the back of the grid in 14th place. So we'll move on from qualifying, get into the race itself, which should be an absolute banger. Dry conditions, wet conditions, what are we going to see here at Silverstone? Clear, a bit of cloud cover here and there, but looking like it's going to be relatively dry. So drivers will be deciding what kind of setups, well, fine-tuning their setups, but also deciding what kind of strategies they're going to do. Oh, trust me, it's just doing that because it likes the sound of its own voice. It doesn't want anything, it just does it. I swear. I swear it just does it. For the sake of making my life miserable. It's already been fed ages ago, but no, it just wants to roam up and down the hallway, just meowing its head off. Anyway. Cars are lined up on the grid. We'll get this thing underway. So, what have the what have the drivers outside the top 10 decided to do? Put on that track map. Have a look at the tyres. Wow. So everyone is on the soft compound tyre. That is interesting to see. F1 Hawk is the only driver on the grid that is on mediums. Now this racetrack in this version of Formula 1, it's an easy soft to medium circuit. However, from my own experience in Tier 3, I did a medium to soft run, and I did 13 laps on the mediums, and I did the other 13 laps on the softs, and it worked like a treat. Having those soft tyres with the lighter car, it was fantastic to drive, and I managed to make up 5 positions in the race, qualified 12th, finished 7th in the end. So I am a little surprised that everyone is starting on the softs. However, you don't want to fall away from the pack. It's another thing that I've noticed with this racetrack is that as soon as you fall out of DRS range, you're pretty screwed. It's very difficult to get back into the tow and try and challenge for position. It takes a lot of work, and it takes a fair chunk of tyre life, and it also takes a fair chunk of fuel and ERS, so you really, really want to try and stay with the lead group as best as you can. For G-Force Stray, right now, it's about breaking away from the pack immediately. The first 3 laps are very important for him. He needs to try and break away from Harass, from Conrad, from Banana Cake Pie, because if he can't, he's going to have a handful trying to deal with the cars behind using DRS, saving that little bit of fuel, saving that little bit of ERS that G-Force Stray has to use to try and stay in front. But the drivers are now lining back up onto the grid, and we're going to get this British Grand Prix underway. Just going to wait for F1 Hawk to line up into his grid slot. There we go. Wait for the game to save. Fantastic. So, here we go at Silverstone. 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go. And I believe GeForce Dre has gotten a magnificent start. He will lead into turn 1. No, it's Harass. Harass gets a fantastic start, and he has the inside line heading into turn 3. Oh, it's going to be 3 wide heading into turn 3. It looked like from that camera angle, but everyone sorts themselves out relatively okay. 3 wide at the loop. Dearie me, this might be trouble. 3 wide at Aintree. Oh, how did that not end up as a massive accident? Oh, this is going to be. Oh my goodness gracious. How are they, A, still running, and B, not get damaged? That is actually ridiculous. Are you kidding me? They were gone for all money. Yet they're still on the racetrack, still going. And there's a Williams of Grim Reaper. He is furious about what's happened, understandably so. Williams that was caught up in that, unless it was Conrad, I can't quite remember. Dearie me. What a moment on the first lap of this race. Could have been an almighty accident, but it's almost as if nothing has happened. I'll tell you what exactly has happened. Harass has taken the lead of this race, and Banana, an equally superb start, has found himself in second with the championship leader right in behind. OP Magic, he doesn't mind his position right now because he can see GeForce Dre right in front of him. But there we go. Harass sets a new fastest lap as DRS is enabled, as you do on the first lap. But dearie me. The Rock 3-second time penalty. Oh, that's why. Oh no, that's Roscoe. I'm sorry, the leaderboard's having a fit again. He's had a moment at the exit of turn 1 heading into turn 2. Careful, Roscoe, those tyres will be absolutely screwed. Oh, here we go. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, sorry. I'm getting confused with Roscoe Arm and the Rock, dear me. Alright, the leaderboard's fixed itself. Thank goodness for that. So Harass leads by just under 1 second. Just under. Blocky Rex, Curving Texas, 3-second time penalties already. Oh, hello, what's that in the background? Drivers. Just excursion. Track extending a little bit onto the grass. You always get a bit of a heart and mouth moment while you do that, because you don't know what the game's going to do. As soon as you see a plume of dust come up, you just think bad thoughts. GeForce Dre gets by. It was a very nice move. It's now a Mercedes 1-2 once again. As now DRS is enabled after the leaderboard had its, its typical lap 2 fit. It's all fixed itself now. Looking behind, look at that train on the minimap. It's going to stay like that for a while. I can tell you that. It's going to be difficult for cars to overtake because everyone's got DRS at this point, so it is going to be difficult. So in this stage of the race, it's just about not making mistakes and not getting those penalties like Curving and Blocky did, because they'll cost you massively. Some drivers have a fantastic ability to not get pens around here. They just seem to nail every corner, not track extend at corners like Cops or Stowe. They don't corner cut through here at Maggots and Beckett's. So OP Magic again taking a little bit of grass as Roscoe Arm gets a 3-second time penalty. He's got a lot of work to do. He needs to pray for a safety car. Here comes Blocky Rex down the inside at Stowe. An aggressive move, but he gets it done. Curving Texas, he's not quite close enough to capitalise. But dearie me, I still can't get my head around that incident that happened on lap 1. That was actually insane. That everyone got out of that okay. I'm really, really surprised that everyone was fine after that. I wouldn't be too surprised if someone had like a little bit of wing damage, but it doesn't really look like it. Let's have a look-see. I need to keep my eye on this table because I want to see some overtaking, but the field is so close to each other I don't know where to look. Oh, hello, Grim Reaper in the Williams. I thought that Williams looked a bit out of line in that train, and so it was. He spun out at turn 7, Luffield. Seen a few mistakes there in previous races. It's not an uncommon thing to do, just run the car a bit wide. Oh, and that's a big shunt. Lost complete control of the car. Oh dear. He's still going though, which is good to see. But I think his race is very much done, as GeForce Grey now takes the lead of this race, overtaking his teammate. I assume he's going to definitely put the hammer down, try and pull away from the likes of Banana and OP Magic in particular. OP's having an hard time overtaking Banana, but not anymore down the inside at turn 3, but Banana holds the inside line for turn 4. OP will try and get a switch back. Banana parks the car relatively on the apex into Aintree, and it's going to be a very easy move for OP, surely, with DRS and with overtake. He slingshots by the Renault. Well, the Renault has DRS as well, but Banana, he can't quite hold it around the outside. So OP slots himself into P3, a very good educated move there by the current championship runner-up, lying P2 in the championship standings. Remember, 17 points behind GeForce Grey. He needs to start finishing in front of the Mercedes-Benz as soon as possible. Looking back at the midfield though, still a fair amount going on, and I think Curving getting a 3-second time penalty. He might line up his teammate here. Actually no, I don't think he's quite close enough to make an overtake. He's just going to sit in behind his Kiwi teammate. Understeers massively at Stowe and comes in and overshoots the pit lane by a mile. Oh dearie me. So he's got 11 seconds worth of penalties, and that's F1 Hawk. He's had a moment at the Vale chicane. Dear oh dear. Oh, and here comes Roscoe Arm. Ugh, this is ugly. That could have went a little bit better. Dear me. Oh, he got wing damage, I see. He comes out on medium tyres. Bit of a stretch. I think they'll make it though. I think he'll be fine. But the top two at the moment in a class of their own, leading by 1.2 seconds. Critically, they're outside of the DRS range of OP Magic. So OP's got a lot of work to do to try and catch up to the top two. As soon as he gets within a second though, it's become a hell of a lot easier. And then we might see, oh I don't know, a 5-way fight for first, because Kiwi lying in P5, he's not too far behind Banana, so Banana will just be sort of carried by OP. He'll just use the DRS and just sort of keep up with him, while OP sort of does the hard yards to try and catch back up to the top two. And at the moment he's done that. He's within a second now. So we now got more or less a 5-way fight for the lead, as OP loses a lot of time in the third sector. I didn't catch that mistake he made. He must have made a mistake. He lost so much time. He needs to get within 1 second. Desperately needs to get within 1 second. Is he within? Leaderboard at the top isn't shifting, which is not giving me a great deal of confidence. He hasn't got DRS. Banana does. Here we go. Leaderboard's going to have another fit, is it? No, has Harass dropped out of the session? No, it's the lobby's just having a bit of a moment, I guess. Harass is still here, it's just... At least I think he's still here. Sector 1, yellow flag, that's Misty Griffin, he's made a mistake. This time at turn 7, that's an odd place to have a mistake. I wonder if he got a helping hand or did he do it by himself. Guess we'll see post-race. Back towards the front of the field, shall we? And here comes Kick Butt Kiwi launching an assault on Banana Cake Pie. Into Stowe. Oh, this is going to be messy. Still side by side. Heading into Vale. And he's made the move stick. Oh, but Banana gets a superb run out of the chicane and through the final corner. Isn't really able to capitalise on. But because of these two battling like they are, they've lost a lot of time to Kick Butt Kiwi. But Harass is, according to this, down in 14th. I know that isn't the case. He's in 2nd. Oh dear, that's a Ferrari off. Who's that? That's The Rock. He's made a mistake. Comes back onto the 2nd in front of Misty Griffin, just inside the top 10. Oh, but he has to be careful though. Those tyres are going to be absolutely shot to pieces. Back up to this. OP Magic, he's not in 2nd place. That's actually Harass. I don't know why the game is putting him a lap, well, effectively a lap down. Oh, this game continues to amaze me. Coming onto the hangar straight, heading towards Stowe. Kick Butt Kiwi is gaining on OP Magic, who is in 3rd, not in 2nd. Heading towards the final corner. Sector 2. Sector 2 yellow flags. For what, exactly? There's not a single car here that's in Sector 2. Cool. As The Rock goes into the pits. Sector 2 yellows again. What's with that? Not sure. Still, this battle for the final podium spot is raging on. Through Luffield. Through Woodcote. Down the old pit straight, heading towards Cops Corner. There's Banana. Not too far behind. And there's Blocky Rex, just 3 seconds behind. So if any one of the 5 in front, that being GeForce Dre, Harass, OP Magic, Kick Butt Kiwi, or Banana, if any of them make a mistake, they fall right back into the clutches of the cars behind. Blocky Rex, Conrad Strait, Edmund in P7, he's not too far behind this pack either. So, and a safety car, oh boy, that would really shake things up as well. As GeForce Dre dives in, so he blinks. Lap 9 of 26. He's going in. You can see here how slow the pit lane is as well. Only 60 kilometers an hour. Onto the medium tyre, and away he goes. He's going to go to the end on that set. So effectively he's trying to get an undercut on his rivals. Pretty smart idea for the leader of the race. It doesn't appear like he's going to end up in traffic though. I think Misty Griffin will end up in front. I think. Yeah, he will. So yeah, definitely GeForce Dre will come out in nice clear air. So it's now up to him to put the hammer down, try and set some quick lap times. Make use of the tyres now. Try and build a gap over your rivals. So that makes Harass your race leader. He's not a lap down. The game is saying he's a lap down. He's not. Because it's bloody Codemasters, and it's actually ridiculous that they can go so far backwards from 2019 to 2020. Anywho, as Kick Butt Kiwi is going to overtake OP Magic for what is, for now, second place. And into the pits they go. OP and Kick by Kiwi pull it up nicely. They're trying to cover the undercut, I suppose, that G-Force Dre is doing. See there, Dre, he's coming down the hanger straight, heading towards Stowe as VSR Roscoe has left the session. Might have to chuck him an invite, I think. He's currently in P6. Interesting. OP Magic's going onto the hard tyre. This is an odd call. The mediums will definitely make it. What's that for? There's no one in the first sector. Oh, game, you were so broken. Alright, so out they come, and there is G4 Stray. Look at that, look at how much of a margin he's built over his rivals. We'll go to gap to leader, who might illustrate it a bit better. G4 Stray, 24.6 seconds behind the leader. Kick Butt Kiwi, 28.8. The gap is 4 seconds. These guys were almost within a second of each other. Or more like 2-3 seconds from each other. So, as Roscoe has jumped out of the session again, oh dear. Here we go, boys. Connection problems go. Harass is still out there. The game, being a moron, is saying he's 2 laps down. He's not, he's still leading. As Banana goes in, G-Force Dre gets a 3-second time penalty. That's a bit of a hurdle now that he has to climb over. Why is this sector 2? For goodness sake. There we go, Roscoe's going back. Hopefully he can stay within the session. F1 Hawk, he's still out there on those medium tyres. It'll be interesting to see what the Haas driver does. Because I know if he comes in lap 13, those softs can go to the end. I know off experience, because that's exactly what I did in Tier 3. So it'll be interesting to see what the Haas driver does. Oh, I don't know how to trust the leaderboard. I don't quite know who's where. I know Harass is leading. He hasn't made a pit stop yet. Let's see. If I can fix this. Yeah, it's... dumb game. Just dumb. Just dumb. So he's leading. When will he pit? Because he's losing time to his rivals. His rivals have got an undercut on him. But he is taking advantage of the clear air, and he goes in. Hard on the brakes. Got to pull it up. Well done. That's not at all nauseating to look at. Edmund comes into the pits as well. So F1 Hawk will become your new race leader for the time being until he makes his pit stop. Grim Reaper gets a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. Let's see, interval. Fantastic. What does Edmund go on to? The medium compound of tyre. F1 Hawk currently leading 6.4 seconds over G-Force Dre. He's going to lose a fair amount of time in the pits. He's going to lose a fair amount of track position, but if there's a safety car at any stage, he might be in a really good place to score some big points. He might gamble just staying out, see what happens. All or nothing will pretty much be his mentality if he goes with that. If he's more conservative, he'll probably pick now or in 2 or 3 laps time. Really push hard on the soft tyre and try and make it work. But it'll be up to him to decide what to do. Harass. Oh, that's right. No, Harass is still your race leader, no? Yes. No. God damn it. Did Harass make a pit stop or not? I don't think he has. No, he has made a stop. So he is now, what's that, behind Banana. He's P5, I think. He's got OP Magic behind. So let's see. So it's F1 Hawk leading, and he'll remain in the lead until he pits. So it's G-Force Stray in P1, after Hawk pits, of course. G-Force Stray in P1, Kick by Kiwi P2, Banana P3, OP P4. Surely he's not on the soft tyre still, though. He didn't pit onto another set of softs. No, he didn't make a stop at all. What am I talking about? Then why does it have one stop next to his... See, I read the number 1 stop. Then I look over at the tyres and he hasn't actually made a stop. Oh, that is so infuriating. Oh. Like, did he get a drive-through maybe? For something? No, not from the looks of things. Oh, I hate this game. Alright. We'll ignore that for a little bit because it's giving me an almighty headache. All I know is that I think Harass is in 5th at the moment. F1 Hawk, no, he stays out. He's going to do another lap. So there's Banana, P4. Here comes Harass. This is for position, I think. It's a good battle, though, at the moment. It's the sort of battles you see at Silverstone. You get a group of cars and they're all just slipstreaming each other, trying to follow each other through the high-speed sections. Coming through turn 3, 2nd gear, 3rd gear, using 2nd gear again through the loop. And there's Harass right in behind. Coming through into Luffield. Again, no real change in position quite just yet. Through Cops Corner. Still not much going on, dearie me. And we've still got a fair amount of racing to do as well. When they cross the line, it'll be 11 laps to go, so... But OP Magic is losing time on that hard tyre. He's even been overtaken by Blocky. That's how much pace the mediums have over the hards. As F1 Hawk goes into the pits, so that's everyone pretty much through their pit rotations. No more strategy at play, it's just about brutal speed, how much you've got it. So he's still battling for position, so it's G-Force Dre, Kickbutt Kiwi in 2nd, Banana in P3, Harass I'm certain is in P4, Blocky in P5, not a bad performance from him. OP Magic in P6. OP, he's got a lot of work to do on those hards. Not quite sure why he decided to choose the hards. I wonder if the game glitched out or maybe he pushed a button or something. Yeah, the medium tyres would have made it. Now he has to worry about curving in behind. He's on medium tyres, they're much older though. But I reckon they still just might have the edge of the hard tyre. Not a bad camera shot at Cops Corner rather. Sector 1, oh for goodness sake game. OP Magic, a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. Yes, this random yellow flag in Sector 1 for whatever reason. Poof. Whatever. Game's getting more and more broken, I swear. Still this three-way fight is still going on. Through turn 1, through Abbey, into turn 2. See how Kiwi's conducting himself at the moment. Keep an eye on the cars behind. Nice and gentle through turn 2, using 2nd gear, which is quite interesting. I tend to use 3rd gear just to try and get the power down as early as possible, Because I know it's a pretty important corner, as it dictates a run through turn 5 and onto the Wellington Straight. Around turn 7, Banana a bit sideways from the looks of things there. Not a great exit. Banana, for some reason, not really taking the racing line through turn 8. Through Cops Corner, absolutely flat. Now through Maggots and Beckett's. 8th gear, down to 7th? No, keeps it in 8th. Interesting. Down to 5th. Even more interesting. You really do get to see just a massive variety of driving style in here. Drivers just driving completely different ways. Different lines, different gears, different braking points. Always good to learn off one another when you're watching some of these streams. You know, if you ever wonder why these guys are going so fast, well, it's best to look where they're braking, where they're accelerating, where they're turning in. Always good to look at that sort of stuff and try and mimic it. Like during a time trial session or something like that, as F1 Hawk does a 27.4, new fastest lap. That way when you do it on a time trial or something like that, as that's Steve, he's had a moment. I'm pretty sure he was the cause of that yellow flag. But he hasn't lost time, 4.5 seconds. It's a gap. I mean, some of these guys have got different ways of achieving set pace, but it's always good to watch off one another. Always good to watch at the best as well. Just watch what they do. Try and understand why they're doing it as well. That way you can apply that knowledge to every circuit you go to. But just in behind this, there's also a battle for P4. So we've got 2 battles at the moment. Fantastic. Hopefully this one's a bit more proactive than the one in front. Because the 3-way fight for seconds, it's been those 3 positions for ages now. We'll have a look at these guys. OP Magic, Blocky and Curving Texas. That should be P5, 6 and 7, because Harass is somewhere in there. In P4, I think. Through turn 2. Curving's got a good run here on his teammate. I wonder what's Blocky thinking. Hard on the accelerator, overtake, DRS. His teammate keeps it and overtake a bit longer. He's able to pull away from Curving. Into Luffield, turn 7. Sector 2 yellows. It's just, there's nothing going on here, games. Stop showing me these fake yellow sectors, for goodness sake. Honest to God. Yeah, I love the game in general, Roscoe. Its uncanny ability to just glitch out at the most random moments is absolutely astonishing. Perfect representation of the pinnacle of motorsport. Honest to God. I mean, let's be fair to Codemasters. The world isn't exactly in the most perfect condition right now, but with some of the updates and some of the patches that they've done nothing to try and fix the main problems of the game. They've just added shit in. They redid the podium pass, they changed the liveries on the cars, they put a fucking rain light. Oh, and around, that's a RAS. Oh my God, what is happening here? Oh my God. So is that the tyre he's actually on? I reckon that's the tyre he's actually on. So he made a pit stop. I don't know what lap he might have made that pit stop. Maybe lap 12 or so. I'm guessing because he's 7 laps down. So maybe lap 12, lap 13, he made that pit stop. It's just the game's finally caught up with it and sort of teleported him I don't know. You know, as I was saying, in fairness to Codemasters, the world isn't perfect, but with all the patches they brought up, with all the time they spent with those patches, absolutely none of it was towards fixing the game. The only one of significance was fixing the CWOS problem with the game, which was game-breaking for sure, and thank goodness that was gone. But there's so many other things that just boggle me. Great, you put a rainbow on the safety car. What about this stuff? What about the stuff that matters? The gameplay. The fact that every time we load up a lobby, it fucking shits itself. I don't know, it's just not surprising anymore, I guess. It's disappointing. Anyway. Battles. There's still battles going on. And when they cross the line, it'll be 5 laps to go. So it'll be a 5-lap shootout for the battle for P4 and a 5-lap shootout for the battle for P2. Both will keep a good eye on these battles. It should be entertaining. Because sort of at this point, even my own mentality, you don't really want to send it just yet. You want to prepare yourself, as that's Misty Griffin having a moment. That's a genuine yellow flag. Haven't seen one of those in quite some time, I must say. Here comes the Williams. Oh, don't worry about it. It won't be too much of a problem. Curving Texas, a 3-second time penalty. This might be a mess, actually. Just let him by, Misty. Oh, that could have been nasty. Yeah, just let him by. No need to fight. But yeah, so with these battles where it's so close and the margins are so fine, you're more or less building yourself up to the final 3 or maybe final 2 laps. And then you just send it. You get every resource that you have and you throw it at the people in front of you. Or for the person in front, you throw it at the people behind you. It's very simple. As Blocky is making a move. Oh, was that a bit of contact I saw? Maybe, just a hint. As Conrad gives a 3-second time penalty. I better check those just when I get the time to do so. Side by side. Oh boy, this is going to be interesting. Here we go. Oh, into cops. Oh, they sort themselves out very well. A great deal of professionalism from both drivers just to sort themselves out. Recognise that if they want to score points, they have to finish the race and not crash into each other and send themselves to Narnia. As Blocky Rex is going to launch a counter-attack here at Stowe, down the inside, coming into the right-hander, up and over the crest, and here comes Curving Texas. A brilliant move from both Alfa Romeo drivers. Fantastic teamwork. OP losing 2 positions in 1 corner. And here comes Conrad. He's going to try and find a way by as soon as possible. Coming into turn 3, he might go for it. He put his nose there. Said to OP, I'm right here, mate. I'm right here. Oh, he definitely said I'm right here. At the apex of turn 4. Through Aintree onto the Wellington Straight. Look at that. The Williams have got good power. He's going to look around the outside. Might get a switch back here. Oh, there's going to be contact. More contact. As Curving completely misses all the apexes at turn 7. That should get a supreme exit. Oh, Conrad. I know what he was trying to do. He was trying to get on the throttle as early as possible. Try and capitalise on the situation in front of him. Parks too much of the car. He's lost too much time. And now what was a battle for P5, as I think Harass is still in 4th, is now turned into a battle for P6, because I think Blocky might have just checked out. But he's out of ERS. He's completely out of it. He has spent every last resource, and when they cross the line, it'll be 3 laps to go. So he's got 3 laps of defending that he has to do. So it's not quite just over just yet. And there's a lapped car in between this lot. I guess we'll ride on board with Banana. So, Misty better try and get out of the way of Harass. Unless, of course, Misty can't see Harass. But he's using the tyre and he's keeping up, so... Just a... Oh, dearie me. Just something that drivers have been told. If you are being, you know, shown blue flags, you have to try and let people by. But Harass is definitely not down in 14th place, that's for sure. I don't know what's happening there. So, can Banana do anything? Well, actually, I better check that. I know GeForce Stray has got a penalty next to his name, but I don't think that'll affect him too much. Yeah, he's got 3 seconds. Kiwi, he has 3 seconds. Banana, he has 3 seconds. Blocky, 1, 2, 6 seconds. OP Magic has got 3, so Blocky might be losing position. Curving, oh, gee whiz, at 9, 12 seconds. Curving's going to lose a fair amount. And Edmund's got none next to his name, so Edmunds might be looking to snag a few positions here. Where is he? He's only 1.4 behind Curving. In fact, Curving's in. Oh, of course. Another 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits. Oh dear. He's just going to go and get fastest lap. That's all he wants to do. So he knows he has enough time penalties that track position means nothing. So, dear me. So this is a genuine battle for position. What about Harass? I better keep tabs on how many penalties he has. Oh, I don't know, because he's so many laps down. Right, okay. Well, the good thing is that the game hasn't disqualified him from the session. Because what can happen is that you don't meet the amount of laps required and the game sort of disqualifies you or retires you or something. Actually no, you get a DNF next to your name. That's what happens if you don't reach a certain lap requirement. I think it's 75% race distance or something like that. I can't quite remember. Or 90% race distance. Anyhow, we're on to the final lap. And this is Banana's last chance to try and take second place for himself. The gap is half a second, and I can assure you he's going to drive the wheels off that Renault to try and get it. Kickback Kiwi has driven well, I must say. Up 4 positions, Blocky up 5. Technically 4 because Harass is somewhere up there. Through turn 6 into turn 7. We'll have a look at the battle behind. Because Blocky's got his hands full with OP Magic and Conrod. Down the pit straight. The old pit straight heading into Cop's corner. Gap is 4/10. He needs to throw it. Kickback Kiwi's throwing it, that's for sure. Very wide at the exit of Cops. Missing the second apex in Maggots and Beckett's, but he gets a fantastic run through Chapel. He's going to chuck absolutely everything at this. So is Kiwi, but Kiwi's got more resources up his sleeve. Banana's got DRS, but it's simply not going to be enough. Meanwhile, right at the front, it's another dominant display for Mercedes-Benz and GeForce Stray as he wins the British Grand Prix. Now let's see who finishes in second. It will be Kickbutt Kiwi from Banana Cake Pie. A superb podium for those two. Harass, I'm pretty sure, finishes in P5. Blocky Rex will come home. Harass will come home in P4. Blocky Rex in P5. Sorry, no, Edmund. Well done. He will jump up to P5. Very well done. No penalties next to his name. He jumps up massively. Well done. Blocky in P6. Conrad in P7. F1 Hawk finishes in 8th place. Well done. OP in 9th. He will not be pleased about that. And The Rock will round out the top 10. harass. Why does the game say he's 10 laps down with only 2 lap old mediums? This game is frustrating. I understand, Roscoe. I don't know what Codemasters have done to this game, but all those maintenance things that they have to do, that's not maintenance for a game. That's trying to keep this game alive, because it's on life support. Honestly, it needs to be constantly checked on, otherwise it will just shit itself. Let's see, is an AI in control of that car? Yeah, that's an AI in control of that car. You can see that there from the throttle implication. So he has finished. The AI is still in control. But I'm pretty sure he finishes 4th. But of course penalties, I don't know what kind of penalties he's got, because according to the race director, he has genuinely only done 15 laps. And mind you, these are some pretty fast that he's doing. So unless there's no like 5-minute lap or somewhere in here, excuse me, he has been at race pace all the way through the race, no mistakes. He did do a 1:53. That's when he made his pit stop. So that's the one slow time he had. I don't know, it's just whatever. The countdown will hit 0 and we'll get the final finishing table and then we'll move on. Indeed. Well done, Banana. Clap, clap. Well done. And I think, quite right, Gavin, I think Grim Reaper did well to recover. Yeah, I think he'll finish just outside of the points. So, in P11, which is not a bad effort at all. But there we go. Not the greatest British Grand Prix, but it wasn't bad either. With 14 drivers, it is a bit difficult to get a great deal of action. There's podium celebrations. GeForce Dre, another win, opening up his championship lead massively now. Kickbutt Kiwi takes home a deserving 2nd place. Well done to him. And Banana gets another podium, P3. Banana has been very consistent. I have a feeling that he'll jump up to 3rd in the driver's standings with that performance, Banana, so well done. Well, actually, let's see, because Kiwi finished 2nd, that's 18 points, so that's 84. You get 15 points. Let's see, 74. Oh! So you and Kickbutt Kiwi are tied on points at the moment. Nice. So there we go. Results for the British Grand Prix. GeForce Dre in 1st, Kickbutt Kiwi in 2nd, Banana Cake Pie in 3rd. Harass, I'm pretty sure, finished 4th. I'm pretty sure. Edmund finishes in 5th. That's a fantastic drive from 10th. Up 5 places. Blocky Rex in 6th. Conrad Strait in 7th. F1 Hawk in 8th. OP Magic in 9th. That's pretty big, I have to say, if you look at the championship. And The Rock rounds out the top 10 again, because Harass should be towards the top of the table. So I'll do some quick maths for you, because okay, so OP finished 9th, I'm pretty sure, so he gets 2 points, a grand total of 2, and Dre gets the full complement of 25, as Curving Texas got fastest lap with a 26.2. So GeForce Dre now goes up to 156 points, OP 116. So what was a 17-point gap is now 40. This race has had a major impact on the Drivers' Championship. Although it wasn't the most entertaining race, that's for sure, this race bears a significant importance to the Drivers' and, of course, the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes, I imagine, had a very solid weekend with 1st and 4th, so they're going to pull away even further at the top of the standings there. So for the Benz boys, they're looking good. They're looking very good indeed. But not the most magical race at Silverstone. I've certainly seen and witnessed better, but not bad. It wasn't bad. We definitely had battles up and down the field. So, anywho, that will probably conclude round 10 of the championship. Harass was behind me the whole time. Yeah, I know. I don't know what happened, but yeah, for me, he was like 10 laps down. I know he wasn't, but apparently he was. So that will end round 10 here at Silverstone. Move away from Silverstone to... oh, whereabouts do we go to? I think it's Hungary, if I remember correctly. Pretty sure it's Hungary, the Hungaroring. An interesting racetrack. It's basically a mini Barcelona in a way that it has a little bit of everything. It has high-speed corners, it has medium-speed corners, it has low-speed corners. Except you can race a bit better around Hungary, I find. Overtaking isn't as impossible around a track like Barcelona. But next week should be very, very interesting indeed. I'm pretty sure it's Hungary. I hope it is. I'll just quickly double check the championship table. It doesn't really matter which tier. I just need to know what round is next. Anyhow, Harass will probably move up to second. I'll lose third. Oh, so he didn't have any penalties, did he, Banana? I was on the assumption that he might have had one or two. Let's have a look. Silverstone, yeah, Hungary's the next round. And then we got two classics after Hungary in the form of Spa and Monza, so should be a good couple of weeks here on Race Spec Esports. But, yeah, interesting race. I don't think so. Gonna have to see his end. Yeah, of course. Because, yeah, I have never... oh, have I seen that before? I don't think I have. That was very different. I've seen the leaderboard have a meltdown at one race that... it was actually Race Spec Esports, if I remember correctly. It was the Americas tier at Zandvoort. The leaderboard was not having it that day. It was shocking. But in this case, it was only one driver who was 10 laps down. I have never seen that before. Oh well, another new bug to fix, yay. But anyway, that will end the stream. That will end round 10 here at Silverstone for the British Grand Prix. Tune in next week as we go to the Hungaroring for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Until then, I've been the Smeg. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next week in Budapest. Should be a fantastic race. Till then, good night.